talked about changing the nature of September 11th from Patriot Day, sort of a rallying call for protecting America, to a day of service. I thought that maybe that was supposed to signal that, hey, everything's okay, we're back to normal, we're going to commemorate the day, do something positive and productive, and not be fearful and not be defensive. And I realized that that's a great aspiration. I mean, personally, I'm not ready. I'm not ready for that. I mean, I still see people that I know were there with me on that day, and when I see them, we go back to that day in our minds. It's not like we forget it.
It was a Tuesday. The sun was shining. Dave Doane, a 1979 Norfolk High graduate, remembers being especially impressed with the day's beauty on September 11, 2001. He walked into his office at the Pentagon around 7 a.m. and started to prepare for a meeting. Just a couple hours later, the world would change. He was going over a transformation campaign plan when he heard a loud explosion. The building started to shake, and he saw an orange fireball.
And the fact is, when the plane hit, it hit right underneath us. It hit the second floor in the fourth corridor. And so we felt the impact instantly. But, we had no idea that it was a plane. I mean, it was a violent shaking, but it was a very sudden impact, and there was a loud explosion of the orange fireball.
At the Pentagon, 184 people died. 54 were on Flight 77, and 125 were in the building. Of the 125 people in the building who died, 29 were from Doane's G1 office.
The people in the same conference room I was in, one floor down, were almost all injured, and 2 died. And I was able to just walk out.
General Timothy Maude, who Doane worked with on a daily basis, died. They knew the general would have been in a meeting at that time in his office and conference room overlooking the Pentagon helipad.
And of course, when the plane hit right below where I was, it went right through General Maude's office. I mean, he was our 3-star general in charge of personnel. It actually literally sliced right through his office. It went through our conference room, which was in use, our G1 conference room on the second floor. And the people that were in that impact area, that's where we lost most of our comrades that day. General Maude was in his office and he was killed.
Doane describes Maude as a hero figure and a visionary. At the time of September 11th, Doane had been working with Maude on what was termed a transformation campaign to gradually shape a new army that was more responsive. Immediately after the events of September 11th, 2001, Doane set his wristwatch alarm to chime every Tuesday morning at 9:37 a.m. After a year, he was ready to move on and didn't need the weekly reminder. But he acknowledges that healing takes time, and he's not completely there yet.
Because people have said things like, oh, well, if you were on the second floor, maybe you wouldn't have made it, but you were on the third floor, so I guess you were lucky. And, I don't know that I have survivor's guilt, but I do have this problem casting what happened to me as luck. Mm-hmm. It bothers me because if I was lucky, then that means that General Maude or John or Kip or Bud were unlucky. If I did something right, they did something wrong. I cannot attribute the fact that I walked out of it to luck. Mm-hmm. Because, maybe it's random, and maybe my number didn't come up. I can almost understand that, but to imply that there's some sort of purpose reserved for me, and that's why I survived, implies that, General Maude's purpose was done, and it wasn't. I have a hard time with that whole concept.
This year's 10th anniversary will be a day of solemn remembrance, quiet reflections, and resolute renewal for Doane. To mark the anniversary, he will continue to perform a ritual that he's performed every year since the tragedy. He likes to take a flower and red, white, and blue candles to some water. After lighting the candles, Doane will read off the names of those 29 from his office who died, pull the petals off the flower, and watch them drift away. He'll go down to the Pentagon chapel to see the names of his friends and colleagues inscribed on the wall. Outside at the Pentagon Memorial, Doane will find Maude's bench. He'll remember September 10th, with Maude looking over his shoulder, critiquing his work and pressing upon him the importance of the mission. Doane can't explain why he walked out of the Pentagon that day unharmed while so many others did not. Some insisted it was some kind of divine intervention, that there was a purpose for him that had yet to be fulfilled. The tragic events of September 11th has certainly shaped how Doane lives his life now.
I'm going to make the most out of every day. I mean, the fact is, if life really is as random as that, you never know how much time you have. So the answer is not to try to figure out the odds or play luck or anything like that. It's just to try to get as much as you can out of every day.
For NorfolkDailyNews.com, I'm Tricia Schultz.